Hello and welcome to the Piano Man's Library. My name is Fern. I am the Piano Man's wife, and today we have a tag video. Jeff at Reading Still Matters tagged us in the train tag. So before we get started, I'd just like to say that no books were harmed in the recording of this video, but I have to say that one cup of tea and one of my favorite mugs was harmed. Don't try and stick your elbow in your cup. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. It's been fun already. The first question, the first prompt is The Great Railway Bazaar, a book featuring an epic journey. Well, I have to say that probably the most epic journey that I've ever read about would have to be the Odyssey, where we follow our friend Odysseus after the Trojan War. It doesn't get any more epic, I don't think, than this journey. But if Homer scares you, intimidates you, although I'm reading a book right now that the middle school student in this book is reading it, so it can't be that bad, people. And yeah, very, very good. I love this translation. Robert Fagles. Yeah, so that is my first book, but I have another one, some nonfiction. This book I read last year, In the Heart of the Sea. Now, this is about a whale ship. It's the true story that, where did I put him? Oh, he's gone. The Moby Dick was based off of. So this is a really good story, really good book. The whale ship, if you're familiar with Moby Dick, the whale, this one great vendetta-filled whale attacks and ruins the big ship. And so all the people on the boat, they're off in their little whaling boats that they actually try and get. Hello there. Because they don't actually get the whales from the ship. They use these, basically they're giant canoes. Okay, bigger canoes that they actually do the whaling in once they get out to the area where the whales are. And the whale destroyed the big ship, and the men were stuck in 3 of the small whaling boats, and out in the middle of the ocean. So yes, this is the story of that fateful trip and how the men who were able to get back. Yes, it's really good. It is not for the faint of heart. It does have cannibalism, and yeah, but it's still a good book. So anyway, if you want something lighter, go with the Odyssey. Okay. Question 2. Brief encounter. A brief or short book you can read while waiting for a train. And so, of course, I have a couple here for this one. I have the Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. The chapters in them are just a couple of pages long. It's easy, lots of easy breaking points for this one. I'm actually just getting into it, but I'm like, oh, this is a good book to have in my purse. Yeah, so Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Another one is Dante's Vita Nuova, and this one, they're very short, 2 pages, some 1 page chapters and some verse. Yeah, this is a beautiful story. This one I will be rereading again for my birthday in just a couple weeks. And I want to read it every spring. It's kind of a young love. It is how Dante met Beatrice. When they were 8 or 9 years old. It's light. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So there's that one. And then another, just a short book. I thought I had to include this one because it has a train on the cover. So 39 Steps by John Buchan. And it is a good little thriller. So I can't tell you too much, but it is also a good book, and the chapters on it aren't very long either. So there is that one. And then number 3, Bradshaw's Guide, a guidebook to a favorite place or thing. Well, I'm in the North Carolina mountains, and so I have a guidebook, an insider's guide to North Carolina's mountains. And yeah, what can I say? I love it here. The next one, Breakheart Pass, a romance novel or western. Bonus points for a romantic. Whoa! Careful there, girl. Bonus points for a romantic western. Well, I don't have any that I can recommend. I don't read. It's been a very long time since I've read any westerns, and I don't really have any romance books that I can really recommend. I used to read a ton of them. I don't. I've just purchased a bunch, but I'm not going to recommend those at all. But what I will recommend, we are all familiar with Louis L'Amour. He is a Western writer. So this kind of works, maybe? But this is nonfiction. Education of a Wandering Man by Louis L'Amour. And I read this book, and wow. So this is kind of the story of his life before he started writing, before he really became a Western writer. From when he was young, from when he left home, all the travels that he did, he always had books with him. A few books. They had these small, like, pocket books. I can't remember what they were called now. Little books, and if you were out hoboing or something like that, you'd have one and you'd trade it off with somebody else. And he recorded all of the books that he read on his travels. And he read a lot of things. We bought a lot of books because we read this. So he talked about them and recommended them and stuff. And it is a really, really good book. If you can find it. I think I've only seen them in this, like, padded Bantam Books collection. But yeah, it is truly, truly fascinating. I could have used this for an epic travel book as well. Okay, the next one, Thomas the Tank Engine, a beloved children's book. So this one, I have two, again, because it seems to be a thing for me. Most people, I think all of the other ones I've seen, people have only had one, but I have two. My kids aren't all the same age. So the first one that I have is Mr. Brown Can Moo, Can You? This one, I loved this book even before finding out that it is an excellent book for speech therapy. So we've gone through several copies of this one. And this next book, Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, for the slightly older child. I think it's recommended for middle grade. I did not know about this book and read this book until probably 7 years ago. And I read it first, and then I gave it to my husband, the piano man, and he read it. And then about a year later, our older daughter, was old enough then to read it herself, and she's read it quite a number of times. And yes, you can see all the tabs. This is a wonderful story. Starts out a young man. His father gets him a job. He's kind of indentured. And from there, he's working in a warehouse, and then he starts reading. And see, reading is very important. And then meeting sailors that have come in. He lives in a port town, and he teaches himself another language by using a Bible, a New Testament. And then he gets working on the boat. The boats are going to different countries, and he learns several different languages, and a number of other things. It's just a really, really good book. I recommend it for everyone to read. Yes, so that would be my recommendation for kids books. Number 6, The Signalman, a ghost story or horror novel. Well, the only ghost stories that I've really read are Dickens' ghost stories. I'm not that fond of them. I know. I love Dickens, but those they weren't my thing. But Robert Louis Stevenson has in here it's called a short story, but it would be called a novella, really, I think in most cases. A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now that one would be a horror book if if it was into a movie. I know it would if I watched it in a movie format. I would be having nightmares. But in a book, I can handle it in a book. Okay. Where are we? Number 7, Strangers on a Train, a new book that you hope to read this year. It doesn't have to be published this year. So I just had a book haul, and one of the books in there that I had was Beneath a Scarlet Sky. And this one, what year was this published? I think 2017. Yes, it's published in 2017. But this is one that I hope to read fairly soon. And number 8, The Mystery of the Blue Train, a book with a color in the title or on the cover. And I will go with, I don't know if you can see that. It's The Black Arrow by Robert Louis Stevenson, who has become one of my most favorite authors, I have to say. This is a story, I only just read this last year, and it's a wonderful adventure. And it is a story, A Tale of the Two Roses. So you have knights, and you have battles and subterfuge, if you will, and kidnapping maidens. It's just a wonderful story. It is. So, yes, this would be my final recommendation. And then after that, I just need to tag some people. So I'll just list a few people that I can think of down below. And if you've already done it, that's good. If you don't, if you feel like if I don't tag you and you see this and you want to do it, please join in the fun. I know when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I've got books that I would like to show for that one. So anyway, thank you very much, Jeff, for tagging us in this video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Goodbye.